You know, I couldn't find my birth mother years ago, but I had found her family, and so I sent that grandmother a letter back in 2007 asking for them to let my birth mother know that I was alive and loved her.
Wow.
And my grandparents responded to me, and I'm thankful for that. But they let me know that my message of forgiveness would not be passed along because they no longer had a relationship. And that makes a lot of sense to me now that I know what I do. But it wasn't until 2013 that a member of her family contacted me. It was a cousin, and she told me about the role my grandmother played in the abortion taking place and that it was forced. And it was through my cousin, though, that I got to have contact with I have two half-sisters that I now have email and, I'll snail mail contact with. And it was my cousin who put me in touch with my birth mother.
How did that go?
Yeah, I always have to take a deep breath. It was as hard as anybody could imagine, but it was hardest because there was one other secret about my life that I didn't know. It was so hard to have contact with her because she was in just this terrible state of grief. She spent over 30 years of her life believing that I had died that day at the hospital. She didn't know. And so when we first connected with one another, she questioned how I could love her, especially now that I knew everything about how her family was so deeply involved in it. And, I think people could probably see the tears in my eyes. That's the hardest thing for me, for someone to say, you can't love me the way that you say you do. I kept thinking, how could she not believe me? But I understand now that she wasn't loved the way that I was loved.
Wow.
And so it's been transformational, not just for me, but for her. She is starting to experience joy in her life. She is starting to forgive herself and the people that put her in the position that they did, because I get to model that to her, that I forgive all of them. I love all of them. And all of us deserve so much better. And on those days where I don't think I can talk about this, I can't stand in front of legislators and plead for them to fight for life, she is the one cheering me on behind the scenes and saying, Melissa,
isn't that good?
I need you to do this.